From Kebageli, out wide Cassiano and John. Now Gout starts to stretch away, and stretch away he does, and he's done it.
A teenager just clocked a 100-meter time so fast it's making Olympic legends nervous. Who is he, and how did no one see him coming? What if the next Usain Bolt was already here, and he was just 17 years old? Meet Gout Gout, the teenage sensation who's turning the world of sprinting upside down. Born in Ipswich, Queensland to South Sudanese parents, this Australian phenom isn't just running fast, he's rewriting the rules of what young athletes are capable of. At just 17, Gout has already shattered records and caught the attention of legends like Usain Bolt and Lyles. But his rise to fame isn't just about raw speed. It's about audacity, ambition, and a belief that greatness doesn't have to wait.
Teen sprint sensation Gout Gout has broken the magical 10-second barrier twice in one night in the under-20s 100 metres Australian Athletics Championships. The 17-year-old ran a 9.99 in his heat earlier in the evening, but unluckily it was ruled to be wind-assisted.
Gout first burst onto the scene by doing something few thought possible, smashing Usain Bolt's under-16 200-metre record. His jaw-dropping 20.04-second sprint didn't just break records, it sent shockwaves through the track world. People weren't just watching anymore, they were comparing. Gout was no longer a promising junior, he was a real contender, and when you beat a record set by the fastest man in history, people pay attention.
He is absolutely gone, he is Gout of this world! 20.07!
Wow.
That is not human!
But he wasn't done. Gout followed up that record-breaking run with an equally stunning 10.17-second 100-meter sprint, setting a new Oceanian U18 record. That time doesn't just put him in elite company, it places him within striking distance of breaking the mythical 10-second barrier, a feat that separates the good from the truly legendary. For a 17-year-old, it's practically unheard of. And yet, here he is, chasing down that milestone like it's just another checkpoint.
Really good start across the field, but he's about to launch out of the track here now. Gout Gout gets up on John, moves past John. He can't be stopped. He is incredible. 10.
And the excitement isn't just confined to the track. Social media has exploded with highlights of Gout's races. Fans from around the globe are reposting clips of his blazing starts and clean finishes, often captioned with disbelief. Comment sections are full of people calling him the next Bolt, or even predicting he might surpass him. Teenage sensation Gout has taken the athletics world by storm over the past year with his frightening times, drawing comparisons to the legendary Usain Bolt. It's not just admiration, it's excitement. The kind that only happens when people sense something special unfolding. What makes Gout's rise even more fascinating is the way he's being embraced by today's sprinting elite. Lyles, one of the top sprinters in the world, has taken Gout under his wing. Gout told Fox Sports Australia, "He calls me little bro, so we definitely have a great connection." The two have trained together and are both signed with Adidas, forming a powerful mentor-protege duo that's generating massive excitement across the track world. And it's not just Lyles. Usain Bolt himself saw Gout in action and remarked, "He looks like young me." Think about that for a second. The fastest man who ever lived is saying that this kid reminds him of his younger self. That's not just flattery, that's a prophecy. But it's not just talent that sets Gout apart, it's confidence. This isn't a kid hoping to make a final or sneak into a relay squad. Gout is aiming for domination. He's got his eyes on the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics and beyond, setting a trajectory that few dare to even imagine at his age. And he's not shy about it. In interviews, he speaks like someone who knows his time is coming, and fast. He trains with intensity, often clocking double sessions and spending hours analyzing race footage. It's a level of dedication that you rarely see at that age. While other teens might be out partying or scrolling through TikTok, Gout is laser-focused on fractions of seconds, because he knows that's where races are won. His background only adds to the story. Growing up in a tight-knit South Sudanese Australian community, Gout has often spoken about how his heritage fuels his hunger for success. His rise isn't just personal, it's symbolic. He represents a new generation of global athletes who are rewriting what it means to be a sprinter, a champion, and a role model. I didn't expect it to be that fast, but I guess I ran Australia's fastest ever time in the 200. His journey hasn't been without setbacks, though. There have been false starts, minor injuries, and the pressure that comes with being labeled the next big thing. But each obstacle has only sharpened his resolve. Those close to him say Gout doesn't just bounce back. He bounces forward, coming back stronger each time. Still, for all the hype, Gout remains grounded. He credits his coaches, his family, and his community for keeping him focused. And that mix of humility and hunger might be his secret weapon. Because while others are celebrating their wins, Gout is already plotting his next move. And let's not forget the competition. The world of sprinting is more crowded than ever. From the dominant Americans to rising stars across Europe and Africa, every fraction of a second matters. But Gout isn't fazed. In fact, he seems to thrive on pressure. Each race is another chance to prove that he doesn't just belong, he's ready to lead. Analysts have started breaking down his form, and what they're finding is impressive. His stride frequency, reaction time, and top-end speed are all well beyond his age bracket. Combine that with his mental toughness, and it becomes clear, this isn't just talent, it's discipline, strategy, and a relentless drive to improve. With the World Athletics Championships in Tokyo looming, all eyes are on Gout. Will he hold his nerve on the global stage? Will he continue shaving seconds off his time? And can he truly live up to the impossible expectations that come with being called the next Bolt? So far, the answer looks like a resounding yes. And if he keeps this pace, we might not just be watching the next great sprinter, we might be witnessing history. Because in the world of sprinting, moments matter. Records fall, legends rise, and sometimes a 17-year-old kid from Ipswich steps up to the line, ready to destroy everything we thought we knew about speed. You know what they say? Pressure makes diamonds, and I guess I'm better than a diamond right now, he said on Saturday. And just like that, the race begins. But here's what makes this story unforgettable. Gout isn't chasing anyone. He's being chased. Because when you break records before you're legally an adult, when your name gets mentioned alongside Bolt and Lyles, and when your times are already threatening the sport's biggest names, you're no longer the future. You're the now, and if you blink, you might miss him. Think Gout Gout has what it takes to shatter Bolt's legacy? Drop your thoughts below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because this sprinting story is just getting started.
Gout Gout has broken the magical 20-second barrier as he took the 200-metre title at the Australian Athletics Championships in Perth.
A teenager with a name you've probably never heard just broke a 56-year-old record. He trains in silence, avoids the spotlight, and still managed to stun the entire athletics world. So who is Gout Gout? And how did he get this fast? This young? The answer might surprise you. At just 17 years old, Gout Gout is running faster than most professional sprinters twice his age. He's already broken national records, stunned the athletics world, and clocked times faster than Usain Bolt did at the same age. But behind the medals, headlines, and wind-assisted sub-10-second sprints is a deeper story. A story of raw talent, discipline, sacrifice, and a coach who's been through more than most. This is the story of Gout Gout, Australia's next big hope in sprinting, and how he's torching the 200 meters like nobody expected.
Knew we'd see this in the final 50, so let's watch the young superstar rise. He's flying. He will be Gout.
Gout Gout wasn't born into fame. He's the son of South Sudanese immigrants and grew up in Queensland, Australia. From a young age, Gout stood out, not because he was loud or flashy, but because he was fast, really fast. At Ipswich Grammar School, where he's still finishing year 12, Gout's speed quickly became impossible to ignore. Teachers, classmates, and eventually coaches started noticing. But the person who saw the biggest potential in him early on was Di Shepherd, the woman who would become his coach, mentor, and guiding hand. Di Shepherd isn't your typical athletics coach. She didn't come from an elite sports background. In fact, she used to work at Woolworths and then in a school uniform shop. She first started training athletes through her involvement in little athletics with her own kids. She didn't go to the Australian Institute of Sport. She wasn't part of the High Performance Network. But what she lacked in connections, she made up for with passion, discipline, and a no-nonsense approach. She noticed something special in Gout. Not just his speed, but his mindset, his ability to stay calm under pressure, his emotional intelligence. She says it takes about 4 years to really know an athlete, and she's been working with Gout for almost that long. Now let's talk numbers, because this is where Gout Gout starts turning heads. In December, at the Australian All-Schools Championship, Gout ran 20.04 seconds in the 200 meters, breaking Peter Norman's national record that had stood since 1968. That record was older than Gout's parents. Gout Gout ran the 200 meters in 20.04 seconds, which broke the 56-year-old Australian record held by Peter Norman and also surpassed Usain Bolt's personal best at the same age. In April, at the Australian Athletics Championships, he clocked a wind-assisted 9.99 in both his heat and the final of the 100 meters. Those times don't count as official records because the wind was too strong. But they prove one thing: he's getting dangerously close to running a legal sub-10. That's something only one Australian has ever done, Patrick Johnson, who ran 9.93 back in 2003. But greatness doesn't come without sacrifice. Coach Di Shepherd has made it clear, to compete at the top, you don't get to live like a normal teenager. Your social life will be non-existent, she told Gout years ago. And now, that's exactly what's happening. While most of his classmates are out with friends or relaxing after school, Gout is training 6 days a week. He does 2 gym sessions on top of that, and he still has to study for his final exams. I've been telling him for a couple of years that when we get to a set point, your social life will be pretty much non-existent, in the sense you just can't go out where you want, she says. He's at that point pretty much now, which is kind of tough when you think he's still at school. It's a heavy load, but he doesn't complain. Shepherd's coaching style is tough, and it comes from her own tough past. She was hit by a car while riding a motorcycle and has had 11 surgeries on her leg. She walks with a limp and wears a knee brace. She lives with a chronic infection in her leg that prevents more operations. On top of that, she's lived through serious personal trauma, the kind she doesn't talk about in detail publicly. She says it took until 2021 when she finally saw a counselor to begin processing it all. Her breakthrough? Realizing that she survived, that she came out the other side stronger, and that maybe, just maybe, her purpose was to help others do the same. Despite never chasing fame, Shepherd has built one of the most respected training squads in Australia. She never advertised her services. Athletes just started showing up and staying. She helped guide Joseph Dung, the 800-meter record holder, before Peter Boll broke that mark. More recently, another of her runners, Jonathan Cassiano, won the under-18 200-meter title in Perth. The results speak for themselves. Gout Gout, though, is something else entirely. Even as fame starts to find him, Gout's handling it with maturity beyond his years. He recently appeared on a live TV show wearing a Real Madrid tracksuit and casually busted out a dance move on set. He joked about being starstruck when some Collingwood footy players asked him for a photo on a flight, but he didn't let it go to his head. He still prefers the 200 meters over the 100 because he knows he's not the best starter, but once he gets moving, no one's catching him. Gout has set his sights on the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles. That's just 3 years away. If his current times hold, he could already be a contender to reach the finals, maybe even more. But the real goal? Brisbane 2032. It'll be his home Olympics. He'll be 24. That's when sprinters typically hit their peak. Shepherd and Gout are already planning for that long run. They're not chasing quick glory, they're chasing the mountaintop. Every great athlete hits a plateau. Shepherd knows it. Gout knows it. It's just part of the process. There will be setbacks. Races he doesn't win, days where the body doesn't cooperate, times when the attention gets too loud. But Shepherd is preparing him for that too. She says, when it comes, we say, bang, okay, time to find our next level. In June and July, Gout is heading to Europe to compete against the best young sprinters in the world. He'll face new challenges, stronger competitors, unfamiliar tracks, different weather. But if he gets the right conditions and a legal tailwind, we could see history. A sub-10-second 100, a sub-20-second 200. At just 17. That would change everything. In a sport where records often feel out of reach, Gout Gout is reminding us that sometimes the next legend is already among us. Training quietly, working hard, and running faster than anyone thought possible. He's not just chasing times, he's chasing greatness. And if he keeps going like this, he just might catch it. If you're into stories of rising legends and record-breaking speed, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, because Gout Gout's journey is just getting started.
So let's watch the young superstar rise. He's flying. He will be Gout of this.
What exactly did Gout Gout just announce that has the sprinting world in a frenzy? At just 16, his latest move isn't just big, it's a complete game changer. In the world of track and field, breaking records isn't just about speed, it's about legacy. And right now, that legacy is being shaken by a teenager named Gout Gout. You might not have heard his name before, but what he just did on the track has everyone watching. Gout Gout isn't just fast, he's record-breaking fast. At just 16, this Australian sprinter did something no one in his age group has ever done. He shattered Usain Bolt's long-standing 200-meter record for under 18 athletes.
Legs loose and let the kid run. He is absolutely gone. He is Gout of this world.
Let's rewind for a second. Back in 2003, a young Usain Bolt ran the 200 meters in 20.13 seconds. That was the fastest time ever recorded by a 16-year-old, and it stood unchallenged for over 2 decades. That is until December 20th, 24, when Gout Gout stepped onto the track at the Australian All-Schools Championships. With the crowd buzzing and the cameras rolling, Gout clocked an unbelievable 20.04 seconds. Let that sink in. He didn't just edge past Bolt's time, he crushed it. And suddenly, this soft-spoken kid from Queensland was making global headlines. But that wasn't the whole story. In the 100 meters, Gout was just as explosive. He ran a wind-assisted 10.04 seconds in the heats. And while that time doesn't count officially due to the wind, it was a serious statement. Then he followed up with a legal 10.17 seconds in the final, breaking the Australian under 18 record. And this wasn't just a one-off. Gout's been consistently putting down world-class times, and coaches around the globe are starting to take notice. So, who exactly is Gout Gout? Born in Ipswich, Queensland, to South Sudanese parents, Gout started off in soccer. But it didn't take long before his blistering speed caught the attention of coaches who urged him to switch to track. It was a gamble, but it paid off big. His progression has been nothing short of electric. Every season, he's shaved off time, outpacing older and more experienced runners. And what really sets him apart isn't just his raw talent, it's how calm and focused he is under pressure. At just 16, he carries himself like a pro. And now, big names are getting involved. Gout recently signed a major sponsorship deal with Adidas. That alone would be huge for any athlete, let alone a teenager. But there's more. He's headed to Florida to train with Olympic champion Noah Lyles. That's like a rising young actor suddenly going to work under the mentorship of Denzel Washington. You don't get those opportunities unless people truly believe you're the real deal. So what's next for the teenage phenomenon? Gout is aiming for the 2025 World Championships in Tokyo. It's an ambitious goal, but no one's counting him out. If his current trajectory continues, he could very well be lining up alongside the world's fastest men in just a few months. And beyond that, he's got his sights set on the 2032 Olympics in Brisbane, a dream that feels more and more likely every day. But with great speed comes great pressure. Comparisons to Usain Bolt are flattering, sure, but they also set a sky-high bar. Bolt wasn't just fast. He was a showman, a record breaker, and a global icon. Gout is different. He's quieter, more reserved. But he lets his running do the talking, and right now it's shouting one message. The sprinting world has a new contender. The buzz isn't just about what he's done, it's about what he might do next. Scouts and analysts are already debating how far he could go. Could he break the 10-second barrier in the 100 meters as a teenager? Could he one day threaten Bolt's senior world records? These questions seemed impossible a year ago. Now, they're very real. And it's not just the speed that's got people talking. Gout represents something bigger. A new generation of athletes from diverse backgrounds redefining what the future of sprinting looks like. His story, from a soccer-loving kid in Queensland to the fastest 16-year-old on the planet, is one of opportunity, ambition, and sheer talent. But don't blink, because this race is just getting started. As Gout Gout prepares to step onto the world stage, one thing's for sure. The legacy of sprinting is about to get a whole lot faster. And if you thought Usain Bolt was untouchable, think again. Hit that subscribe button, drop a comment with your predictions, and don't forget to like the video if you think he's the next sprinting legend. This journey's just getting started, and you won't want to miss what's coming next.